Hi, this is Janossy. I'm going to use this one slide to tell you about the structure of a very short video short. Something that you're going to be doing that's about 2 to 3 minutes long. It's going to be made up of several different scenes in the center, a title at the beginning, and credits at the end that fade out to black. So I'm going to describe the different parts of this in just a second. Take a look at the instructions down here. I'd like you to come as close as you can to this structure for your video short, which you'll be doing in this Explore Chicago course. The point of this video will be to tell a story and generate interest. So you're going to use the video footage that you've recorded already, or you can record next Saturday with the last visit that I'll have of a person to the classroom. So bring your cameras if you haven't got sufficient footage yet. And I'd like for you to use the video footage voice, if at all possible. Some of your videos made out in the open may be too noisy for that. All the more reason to think about taking some additional footage next Saturday in class. If there's too much noise on the footage you want to use, then you might have to just mute out the audio track that was recorded on the video and instead record your own voice narration and apply that as you would otherwise apply a music track. The source of your information for your own voice narration would be your own life history paper of the person that you interviewed. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to have a title of about 7 seconds running time. This title can be very simple, just the name that you've given to the video. That's sufficient. And at the end, you're going to have credits that are going to give credit for the music that you might have used, give credit to the person you interviewed, and put your own name on there as well, because you're the one who made the video. And that can fade out to black. That's a simple setting so that whatever that word slide looks like, it fades out and the whole screen becomes completely black at the end. Now let's take a look at how you get from one scene to another, or from the titles to the first scene. I've indicated here this sort of a boxy thing as a transition. First of all, if you just cut from one scene to another, that's called a jump cut. That's just an immediate jump. One scene changes to another. There is no real transition between them. And that's a fairly common way to handle things. You see a lot of examples of that in modern commercials where things move really fast. So one of the example videos I've got below does that and synchronizes the cuts, the beat of the music, which is psychologically pleasing. Here I've seen a special transition in use. The circle, I just use that to indicate that it's where the circle opens up in the middle, and that's very handy when the thing in the scene is a person's face. Then it just looks like it opens up on that person's face. Here you might want to throw in a transition that's called a fade, and it's just one image dissolves into another, and there's some overlap when that occurs. So one blends into another, and that's a very graceful sort of a thing, especially if you make it a few seconds long. I would suggest you use maybe one or two of those, and it's handy to use one from the last scene going into the credits. It's kind of an interesting way to just sort of end up. Now, as far as this down here indicates, the green and the yellow bars, what I've indicated here is that you should pick out from podsafeaudio.com some music that people are making accessible to you simply for their getting credit. That is, they're getting exposure for their music. This is the type of music to use in this video. Don't use music that you ripped off a commercial CD, because the recording industry will get extremely angry about that and come after you. Your video won't last very long on YouTube as a result. Use PodSafe music and thank the people who provided it over here in your credits. So I would suggest you think about that. Don't dwell on it too long, but make something that pleases you when the titles are showing. And also the same thing can come in when the credits are occurring at the end. You might be able to, with your video editor, reduce the harshness of the start by having it fade in, that is, the music fade in, and the music could fade out here, and the same thing here, just to make it rather less jarring to the ear. Now the yellow bar, the voice narration, if you've already recorded good sound with the video, then you might not really have to do anything, because your video editor will match the sound. It always matches the sound with the video, and if you cut a scene here, then the sound will cut at the same time, and the new scene will have new sound. If you want to do this and have your voice narration, then you need to put these scenes together first and play them back on your computer at the same time that you record a voice narration for it, and then you can apply that voice narration to what otherwise might be the music track. You would in that case mute the original audio that came in with the video footage, and you would use your soundtrack here. You might have to adjust it by cutting the the voice and moving it around left and right a little bit, because unless your recorder was extremely precise and running at the same speed that the camera was running when you took the footage, it might, after several seconds, get somewhat misaligned, so a scene might change and you'd still be talking about the old one. Anyway, that's the structure of the assignment for producing a video short, your documentary of the life of a homeless person, or at least some small part of the life of a homeless person. And I would suggest that every one of your individual scenes lasts from 2 to 10 seconds. Don't run a scene on for 20 and 30 and 40 seconds unless there's something really significant being said. But even at that, you'll have to edit out various gaps and pauses and things. Think about commercials you've seen or TV shows. They don't have a lot of running dialogue that goes on unless it's a Shakespearean play or something and somebody's giving a big speech or a soliloquy, but it's generally rather boring. You want to maintain people's interest in this, so scenes that are 2 to 10 seconds and not much longer would really be the way to do that. And pick your scenes carefully from the footage you've got. You're going to leave a lot more on the cutting room floor than you're going to put into this video if you do this right in order to maintain interest. Thanks a lot, and I'm interested in seeing what you come up with. There's a write-up of this assignment as well that will repeat some of the things I've said here, but play back this video a couple of times if you have any questions about the structure, and take a look at the 2 or 3 samples that I've embedded in the Blackboard site following this movie. Thanks a lot, and have fun.